Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. It's Chamber Check In time, and welcome to another episode from your only five-star accredited chamber in the state of Idaho. Today, we have Paul Katsaros with us. He's with Fluid Truck Company, and I'm so excited to help share his business and a little bit about his background and story. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul. Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We've been doing these chamber check ins for, well, 2.5, 3 years, and we featured over 350 businesses. And what I really love about this program is the fact that we get to share our member stories, their products and services, but most importantly, the people. And you have such a cool, unique business model that I'm just excited to share. Relatively new chamber member, but super active in the community and overall good dude. So tell us a little bit about, let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got your start and what led you into this career.
Yeah, so I'm a 15-year transplant out of Chicago. So I consider myself a native transplant. Boise's home, seen it grow a ton. Moved out here right at the start of the big recession. And I actually started my own restaurant delivery service, like an Uber Eats, before that existed in town. Long story short, Uber Eats then came to be, and I couldn't really compete with a business of that size. And so for the last few years, I've been in various business development manager roles. And ultimately, what led me to Fluid Truck is I saw their listing on LinkedIn. My first job out of college was with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, so I was very familiar with the rental space. And I also understood the technology industry disruptor space because of Uber Eats and Uber with the taxi service. And so I was really excited to be part of a startup and try and disrupt a long-standing commercial vehicle rental space.
So, what a great story. And I see now how it aligns well with this new service. So, for those of us that don't know, and like myself, I had to ask you, what is Fluid Truck Share? Tell us a little bit about that. So, now's the time to share the origin story of Fluid Truck, what it is, and where it began and why.
Yeah, so Fluid Truck is a 7-year-old startup out of, and like literally, we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary out of Denver, Colorado. The origin story came to be the owner was getting ready for a wedding and found a need where he needed transportation to be able to move things around and get things taken care of, but didn't want to deal with the U-Hauls and the Penske's, the old way of doing things, standing in line for 45 minutes, filling out a ton of paperwork. And so he kind of had his aha moment, and he created this app-based truck share system out of Denver. It started where you can literally put anything on the platform, lawnmowers, cargo trailers, everything. But ultimately, he honed it down to commercial vehicles, cargo vans, box trucks. Here in the Boise area is what we have. Other markets will have pickup trucks and a variety of other vehicles. But here in Boise, we rent cargo vans and box trucks.
So a truck sharing company, is it kind of like those micro mobility, those like I can go up to one of those e-scooters and punch in my credit card or whatever and fill out their app and go down the road? Is it kind of like that?
That's exactly what it's like. Thanks for bringing up that metaphor, because kind of, if you can see the picture, there's a corner of a phone there, but it's the same thing as the scooters actually, but with cargo vans. You create an account, you download the app, you create an account, and then you get on. Oh, I don't know if we can see this, probably not. And then there'll be an app, there'll be a map where, my background. There'll be a map where I've got vans at various businesses around town, mostly furniture stores. And you can make the reservation right from the app. You drive over to the van. The app unlocks the van. The keys are waiting for you inside. You drive around, you move your stuff, you return the van to the same spot with the same gas. The van locks up, you walk away, and you're done. So once again, no interactions with people, no rental lines, no paperwork to fill out. The other big differentiator is we rent by the hour. $12 an hour includes 100 miles, and you can, buy something cool off a marketplace, move it, return it, and not have to bother your buddy borrowing his pickup truck.
So, okay, this is mind boggling. So let's say, okay, so here's a great example. My wife and I, we want to go to IKEA. We know we have to bring something back. We don't want to drive our pickup or our car. We could fly down to Salt Lake, go to IKEA, get a Fluid truck, drive it back to Boise. Do we have to take it back to Salt Lake? Tell us about that.
I love your enthusiasm. Unfortunately, we don't do one-way rentals. We like to keep them within the communities to be able to be used all the time. We're just not quite set up with that yet. So you can, rent one here, drive it to IKEA and back if you wanted to. Or obviously locally, it's great for, once again, if you buy something off a marketplace or from a furniture store, you drive a Honda Civic and you need something bigger to move something around.
I love that you can rent by the hour and it's about $12 an hour. That's huge. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else. What brand of vehicles are available?
Yeah, they're relatively new, within usually about 2 to 3 years old, 21 or newer. Dodge Ram ProMaster 2500, high roof cargo vans also. So it's 12 feet deep, 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide. So there's tons of room for cargo. You could fit virtually anything inside of there.
Now, was it designed for the commercial user or the personal user or both? Or tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, as a company, we've really been focused on the commercial side of things. Our biggest users are the big logistics companies, your UPS, FedEx, Amazon, mainly during what we call as peak season, when they get ramped up for Christmas. They need a lot of extra vehicles, so they'll rent ours long term. But since I've been with the company, we've been refocusing more on the local and personal use to build a more diversified portfolio and really get the word out around our particular markets so that we can have everybody renting and not just businesses all the time.
How long, remind me again, how long Fluid Truck has been in existence?
So technically we've been in existence 7 years, but we're still very much a startup at this point and making our impact on the world.
How many cities are served currently?
So we serve approximately 400 cities.
Wow.
Yep. About 80% of the population of the United States has access to a Fluid truck.
Oh, okay. I was looking at your website today and I saw some really cool things. But one of the coolest things I saw, being a cyclist, there was a Riding for Purpose post. It was called the Tour de Rouge. And it was from this May. And it was like maybe one of your teammates were riding from Houston to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And it was like a 540-mile trek. And it was all sponsored by Fluid Truck. And so the reason I brought this up is as a relatively new startup company doing some really cool things, you're investing in your communities that you serve. Help me share a little bit about Fluid and its community service.
That's really what drives Fluid and why I exist as a business development manager, is because they want us to really get to know the community and be a part of it and help serve them. We want to be a part of that local business's growth when they're just busy enough that they need another vehicle, but they're too small to spend $50,000 on a new van because the market's so crazy right now. We want to be a part of them to help them out, but not just for financial gain. It's that's the whole idea. The truck share is all community based. That's why we don't have an office, and we partner up with businesses to house our vans for us, where people who rent our vans are drawn to that business, and then that business in turn promotes our vans to be used for their customers. And so it's just everyone's scratching each other's backs, and we try and help each other grow.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that I'm missing here? It seems so easy. How many spots are there in the Treasure Valley that these are parked, and how many units do you have available for the community right now?
Yeah, great question, Paul. So I've got currently 49 vehicles in my fleet. They are once again staged all over various businesses, such as RC Willey, DeMeyer Furniture, Consign Home Furnishings. I've got about 14 different staging locations, Boise, Meridian, and Nampa, Caldwell. So I cover the entire valley within a few miles in any direction. You can get access to a Fluid truck or van. The other great thing that differentiates us from the old way of doing things is all of our vehicles are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So because we don't have an office and everything's done through the app, you can just make a reservation and pick it up whenever you want.
Wow. How efficient and smart is that?
That's why I love being part of the company, and it makes it really easy to promote because it's a really great product, and it's a new and fantastic way of doing things.
Okay, what does success look like for you, Paul, in the region with Fluid?
Yeah, really just growing my fleet from 49 to over 100 vehicles it's really exciting when people walk up to me at the various networking events with the chamber and like, oh man, I just saw one of those in my neighborhood, and being part of that brand recognition so that people now know that we exist. And so next time they do have to move that thing from their storage unit, or they hear their friend moving and they can't help them that weekend with their pickup, then they know that we exist and they'll use us in the future.
So as a non-techie guy, you say there's an app to download. How easy is this?
It is incredibly easy. Just like any account for Airbnb or Uber, you have to first set up your account, right? You upload your driver's license, you put in your credit card. Once we verify your information, it takes 1 minute to make your reservation, and then you're off and running. It's the easiest thing in the whole wide world.
So I go and let's say I'm at an RC Willey, great chamber member, by the way, and I'm bringing home some furniture and I use the Fluid truck. I've got to return the vehicle to where I got it from.
Yeah, that's the only difference between us and the Lime scooters you see around town. You can't just park our van on any side street because we don't want you to incur any tickets and be responsible for those. So that's why we establish those relationships with those stores. So we've got safe parking lots for our vehicles and for our customers.
What have you discovered in this short amount of time you've been servicing the community? Who's been the best type of user? Who's using it the most? Is it realtors? Is it folks that are just moving? Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's what's so fun about it, is finding the different needs and forming those partnerships. So outside of the package handling companies, I've got one parked outside of a catering company because it's wedding season and they're doing catering events every weekend, multiple times a weekend. They now basically have an on-demand work vehicle for their entire busy season, and they didn't have to buy that. And they don't have to drive down to our competitor every time to go and rent a vehicle for 1 day. They have a van in their parking lot waiting to be used whenever they want. But the community can also find and use that van if they needed to. So we're seeing a lot of different uses. It's really great. It's makes you appreciate what we're doing here.
That's awesome. Well, Paul, you're a hustler too, man. I've never seen, there's a few tenacious business people out there, and you're on the top list of those tenacious people. And I love seeing you at the events, and thanks for speaking at our transportation committee meeting the other day. I think you definitely rose some eyebrows with some people who didn't know about the business. And that was really cool to hear and for you to share. I've got the logo or the website scrolling on the bottom of the screen. It's fluidtruck.com. If you have an opportunity to pop on their website, there's some really cool stories and all the information you need to learn about Fluid Truck. Paul, is there anything else while I have you that you'd like to educate the public on?
You know, your questions are fantastic, Paul. I just want to take time to thank you and the chamber for being so supportive. It's really been an excellent way for me to get the word out. Actually, at one of the last evening socials, I got the catering company as a client of mine. So yeah, it's chamber's been fantastic to me. So thank you so much.
That's what it's all about. Taking the time to show up to some events, and you never know, you may even get some business out of it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Paul, thank you so much for your investment in the community. Thank you so much for your investment in the chamber. It means the world to us. I hope you have a great rest of your week and enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.